Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Tea Time Crochet. Today we're going to take the swatches that we did last week and we're going to learn how to increase and to decrease. And those are very important steps. To do any pattern, you're going to have to know how to increase when your pattern requires it and to decrease. And for anyone that doesn't quite understand what increasing and decreasing means, increasing is to make your project go wider. So initially you're making it bigger, and to decrease, you're going to make it go smaller. So I have the swatches that we did last week. So I'm just going to attach yarn to the swatch, and then we'll go over the steps. Okay, so we're going to pretend that this is a project that we're doing, and I'm going to chain one, and that'll count as the first single crochet here. I'm just going to go ahead and single crochet into the next one. And let's say that our pattern says that we have to increase in this next stitch. So to increase, we're going to put 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So to single crochet, just as a little refresher, we're going to go into the stitch, draw up a loop, so that's 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Now we need to do one more into that stitch. So into the stitch, draw up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. And that is an increase. So I'll do it again in this next stitch. And increasing is very simple, and you pretty much have to use it for anything that's going to be fitted. So like hats, slippers, garments, bags, you'll need to know how to increase. Pretty much anything that you're going to make, unless it's just flat panels, you're going to have to know how to increase. So once again, into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Okay, so that's the single crochet increase. It's just 2 stitches, or 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now to decrease, go ahead and pull that one out. To decrease, we're going to try and take these 2 stitches and make it into 1 stitch for this next row. So we're going to go into this one like we normally would, pull up a loop, and instead of yarning over and pulling through both loops, we're going to go into the next stitch and pull up a loop. So that will give us 3 loops on the hook. So we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. Now if you look at the row that we're working, we had 2 stitches here and we made those into 1 stitch for the next row. So when we come back and we work down this row, those 2 stitches will have been decreased to 1 stitch. So I'll show you again. We're going to go into the stitch, pull up a loop. We're going to leave that loop on our hook. That's 2 loops on the hook. Go into the next stitch, pull up a loop. So that's 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. So that is what a single crochet decrease looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off, and then we're going to move on to our next swatch. So here's the half double swatch that we did last week. So I've already attached my yarn. So I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to half double into this next stitch. So that's yarn over, go through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. That's a half double. So to increase for this next stitch, we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and we're going to go through all 3 loops. And then we're going to do another half double in the same stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that is an increase. Now I'll do it one more time in this next stitch. Yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that is what the increase looks like. So for the decrease, the half double decrease, we're going to yarn over, and in this next stitch, going to go into that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, we're going to pull through 2 loops, we're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and that will give us 4, and then we're going to go through all 4 of those loops, just like that. So one more time in the next stitch, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through these 2 loops, then we're going to yarn over, go through the next stitch, pull up a loop, and go through all 4 loops. And that is what the decrease looks like. So once you learn how to read your stitches, you'll be able to look at this and say, okay, that's a decrease and that's an increase, because you can visibly see that these 2 stitches are being scrunched together into one. And then these ones, you can see the increase, you can see they kind of fan out like this. So, okay, that's the half double. We'll move on to the double crochet. So I just attached my yarn. I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to yarn over and go into this next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And that's the double crochet. So to double crochet increase, we're going to do the same as the other stitches. We're going to put 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, go through 2. Yarn over, go into the same stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that is what the double crochet increase looks like. And you can kind of tell it kind of V's out. So I'll do it one more time in the next stitch. So see, if I hold it up here, hopefully my lighting's good enough, you'll be able to see it. You can see the difference between these stitches and the original stitch that I had started out with, just the regular double crochet. They kind of V a little bit. So for the decrease, we're going to go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, go through 2, we're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch after that, pull up a loop, we're going to go through 2, and that'll give us 3, and we're going to go through all 3 of those. And again, yarn over, go through the stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, that'll leave 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, and that will leave 3 on the hook, go through all 3 of those. Now, different people will do, you'll find watching different tutorials that everybody does their stitches different. Some people will pull through all 3 and then 2 at the end. Some people will do it like me. It just depends on your personal preference. So, like anything, you just got to find your own style and what works best for you. So that is the double crochet increase and decrease. Okay, so here is the treble crochet. So I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to wrap twice, go into this next stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now, this next stitch will do an increase. So wrap twice, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Wrap twice, go into the same stitch, so it's pretty much basically the same thing for each stitch. It's just the stitch itself is different. There's more steps. The taller your stitch, the more steps you'll have. So I'll do a decrease in the next one. And this one is where it can get a little confusing because the treble stitch is very, very tall. So let me do that from the beginning. Yarn over twice, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, that leaves 2 loops on your hook, yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, and then you'll have 3 left, go through all 3 of those. And that still, gives you the height that you need, but it's converting that into 1. I'll do that again because the treble stitch can be quite confusing, especially in the decrease. So yarn over twice, go through the loop or through the stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, and that leaves 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over twice, go into this next stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, and then go through the last 3. And with the treble stitch, since it's so tall, it's a lot easier to see. So with the decrease, you can see it kind of V's upwards. With the increase, you can see it V's downwards. Okay, now that we've learned all of the increases and decreases for each one of the different stitches, you'll be able to go on and pretty much do any pattern that you want. I will have some more tutorials coming up. After this, it'll be just projects that I'll be doing tutorials on. So I think I'll give you a sneak peek of next week's tutorial. Next week's tutorial will be on this rose. And this rose is very simple. It is basically just using all of the stitches that I have just taught you. So it's done with single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. And then it is done in one long strip, and then you sew it together at the end, and I will go over all of that with you. And I have worked up the pattern for 4 different sizes, so you can do really small roses all the way up to really large roses like this, which I think is really gorgeous. And you can do the two-toned like this, or you can do just one color. You could do variegated, which would look very pretty. You could pretty much do anything that you want, and then you can sew it on afterwards to any of your projects. So that will be next week's tutorial. I want to thank everyone for watching, and have a great day.